Hi there and welcome to the latest episode of Pat's Procrastination, episode 56, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Thank you for listening in, folks, or watching. Please do not forget to be rating, reviewing and subscribing so that this off-season you do not miss an episode, because due to a few technical issues on my end, the content may be sporadic over the next few weeks, so please check your socials for when we will be bringing you an episode. And obviously, whilst you are over on the Pat's Propaganda website, blog site, do check out the latest piece, which covers approximately the last 4 years of the Patriots and around the NFL. Just as we are entering the free agency frenzy season, you could always check back those last 4 years. There may be a slight significance for myself, but hey, that's how it is. So, folks, here we are. My name is Clazzy Clare, and he is Chudders. This is it. It is free agency frenzy. The Patriots have stacked the defense. We might not cover the offense quite so much, as there might not be so much to cover, but here he is, folks. Chudders, how are things with you?
I'm ecstatic, Claire. For 18 months, the Patriots have needed an offensive tackle and a wide receiver, and finally we got our guys. Finally, offense is now solved. We can all sleep peacefully.
Yeah, well, I'd hate to disagree with you. Yeah, really, because I always disagree.
What are you on about? No,
And...
we've got a receiver coming from the number one team in the division. We've got an experienced tackle coming from the division.
I want to put a pin in the tackle thing. I have a different comment on the tackle thing. I'm actually not so bad on the tackle thing, but when he says we can all sleep easily, folks, we can't. I'm exhausted. Totally didn't sleep very well at all, and it is a ridiculous time on. It's so early on Tuesday. It might still be Monday. You never know. Whilst we're sitting here doing this, there might be some breaking news. I doubt it, but I have to disagree with you when it comes to the. I'm not so bad with the right tackle situation. I thought it was like a good signing. Heard lots of good things about Morgan Moses. They needed to solidify the line. Whilst the left tackle is top, the line still needed work. So that for me was a good one. The one that got me, yes, was the wide receiver. Oh, let's get another number 4, folks. Maybe if we have enough number 4s, they'll all add up to number 1. Just don't get me. I was trying to be really positive on this show. Then they signed him, and I'm like, why do you do this to me? I was all ready to be like, defense. The defense is intense and so excited. And then they just go and
So my assumption is let's after a bit of tomfoolery, let's try and ground this. So I think you're right.
Sure.
A great signing at right tackle. I think that can help to solidify the line. I put a pinch of salt with that because I better hope this is a good signing for right tackle, and this is not Elliot Wolf for a second season in a row thinking, oh, it's fine. We can just make a right tackle, a left tackle. That'll solve all our problems, as he tried last year. Because if that's his plan and he's thinking, oh, yeah, it's fine. He's a great right tackle. We can stick him on the left. Go on.
I have a comment. If he does that, I will put a call out on Pat's Propaganda, and we shall round up the troops and maybe hit Gillette Stadium with no-go Wolf signs, because that will be devastating. That will be quite devastating. And I think, I want to preface this actually. I believe I may be naive. I don't think...
No, you naive, Claire.
In thinking this, not in general, but thanks for the really hearty compliment there. That Vrabel won't let him do that. Yes, it's
I'd like to agree.
Confidence, but that's how I'm going into this season. I don't believe they will do anything ridiculous, because I don't believe Vrabel will let them. Now, I'm sure they can prove me wrong, but I'm not concerned about that, for the simple reason of maybe putting the blinkers on a bit. I don't believe that Vrabel is going there. I think he's too good of a coach to let that happen. Mayo wasn't experienced enough to say, that's not going to work. I think Vrabel is well experienced enough to say, dude, that didn't work last year. It ain't going to work this year.
I'd agree. I'd like to think that this is, like we say, they've signed a good right tackle. They're not planning to mess around a left tackle, that they just simply haven't finished their business there yet, is my hope.
Some of it is...
It does, as we sit here now, it does bring in a first-round left tackle possibility with pick 4 or trading and whatever. But as we sit here now, that's, if nothing changes between now and the draft, that's surely got to be the priority, but we'll see how it goes. We've got a bit of time for that. We've literally only had day one of free agency. Morgan Moses, I think, is a good signing for the right-hand side. Hopefully he can help to develop Caden Wallace as well as a potential backup sort of swing tackle, rather than as him stepping in to be right tackle and Moses is going to move to left. And I really hope that's not the plan, but I don't think it will be.
I'll request a trade if that's the plan.
Yeah, in terms of Matt Collins, again, I'm hoping this is one of those, he's a special teams ace, and like you say, a number 4 or 5 option. That again, I cannot believe that the Patriots think they've solved anything at receiver with that pickup. They've got a nice, interesting option. They can't think they sold it. The other, on receiver, the fear I have is that if they don't go, and reality is you got to trade. If you're going to get a top receiver now, you're going to trade, I suppose, or the answer is they're going to wait for Cooper Kupp to get cut and then they're going to aim to pick up him or something.
He is going to be released. The last thing I read, sorry to interrupt, the last thing I saw on social media, Twitter, whatever, X, whatever you call it, is he's going to be released.
Unless they find a trade partner, which is essentially, if anyone will give anything for him, they'll trade him.
To be honest
and
with
that's where it's a slight, there's a slight risk there, because a team could go, oh, what the hell, I'll give him a 6th, 7th round pick, like a relative nothing. But that means I get him rather than waiting for him to go to free agency. And at that point, he's not going to come to my team. So we'll see.
I would be happier this morning if we were looking at this list and we were saying for the wide receiver situation, because obviously the one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is the Patriots tried to get Godwin. There was money on the table. They actively attempted to get him as their wide receiver 1. However, he wanted to stay in Tampa. Those situations you can't do anything about. You can't chain a guy and drag him to your place. You can't. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to. Now,
I'll interject. You could offer him stupid money. Now, I'm pleased they didn't offer him stupid money.
He turned the money down.
No, but you could have offered him stupid money where he just can't turn it down. Now, I'm glad they didn't do that. Let me say now, I'm glad they didn't get stupid, but technically you could, is my point. If you were really desperate, and to be honest, the Patriots are pretty damn desperate.
Yeah, but it seems so far-fetched, it's pointless discussing.
Kind of, but it's also how are you going to get players in?
Anyway,
if that's 2 seasons in a row, players have chosen not to come to your club.
You can't compare this to that. No way. This is a top guy who wants to stay where he is. And last season was you've got no quarterback, you've got no reputable head coach and stuff.
But what about DK?
All due respect to Mayo.
DK came out and said, I don't want to go to New England. It's 2 seasons in a row. The top receivers on the market have said, I don't want to go to New England. Yeah, now, you could have. I wish they'd have forced DK. Personally, I wish, when you look at the deal, what the Steelers gave up to get him, I wish the Pats had done that or beat that.
Yeah.
They did. They not to. Maybe they spoke with him and he said, I don't care what you offer me. I'm not going to sign a contract with you to re-up it, kind of thing. Maybe that happened. I don't know. But essentially, 2 years in a row, you've had the top receivers on the market say, I don't want to come to your team.
I I'm going to disagree on a technicality. However, people don't want to watch a show that we just keep arguing about the same.
Isn't that what we do every week?
No, we tend to argue about multiple things, and this is just a pointless waste of air doing this all the time. My point was, I would have been happier if I'd have woke up and seen Cooper Kupp had been signed for like a 7th or something, and they'd have brought back like Jacoby Myers or something. I'd have felt better about the wide receiver core with those two guys in than I do with this guy. And I'm sure people will be like, oh, but he's great and things like this. Okay, he might be. This does not move my needle in the positive direction at all.
It moves it maybe 1%. They've done something, but it just does not solve the issues the Patriots have.
I've gone that way. You're all about this level, where are we? I'm right over there. This is my bugbear niggle about these signings. Everything else, all fine, all good, all great in some respects. This one feels like another, why are we doing this with wide receivers? What is wrong with the wide receiver department over there? It just, I could really lose my temper over this one. I'm not going to, because I want to move on, but I'm really going to... So, to calm me down, let me just quickly say then.
Go on then.
So that we don't keep doing this. They re-signed Austin Hooper. Yay, 1 year deal. Yay, Claire, very happy. It was one of the first. It was kind of back before the frenzy really started. He's back. I'm happy. Hooper and Hunter, love it. Why are you pointing? Yes, they still need to draft one. Shut up. They still need to draft one.
So that's what I was going to ask. You said you were happy.
Yes, I am.
And pulling back the curtain slightly, I'm happy. I think Hooper's great.
Can't we leave the curtains closed today?
I think the and the pair of them seem to gel well enough. There's some chemistry last year, particularly obviously with Drake May, and they were, I think, among the top tight end rooms in the country.
Did you hear that, folks? We have the top tight end room.
Which was helped by the fact that Patriots had no receivers. So it meant all the production had to go to the tight ends.
No, you are quite right. Let's be clear. I am being silly.
So the question I was going to have was, I said at the weekend to Claire that the way things are looking at the moment, if the Patriots do not sign Hooper, I would be open to them drafting a first-round tight end, because it's a great need. Looking at some tape, looking at the other options the Patriots are going to have, and not being totally sold on pretty much any of them. There's some guys I could see them picking, but none of them that were, you have to take that guy. And that is assuming Abdul Carter and Hunter are not available.
I know.
Fourth pick. If they are, 100%
Just
one of
get
them.
to it. Just admit to the folks that you said to me over the weekend that if Patriots don't sign Hooper, you want Tyler Warren at 4.
I didn't say I want. I said I'd be open. No, I said I'd be open to it.
Yes. It's semantics, but yes, you said you would be open to him at 4.
Yep. Now they've signed Hooper. Now I'm not. We don't need a TE3 in the first round. But so asking you now. So you're happy they got Hooper, which
yes.
to some extent I am. Are you still on? They should be taking one in the first round, or does this also adjust your expectations? And now you're thinking, well, now this means they don't need a first round tight end. Now they're going to take, and I know you like some of the later round guys, so I'm not trying to poo-poo them, but the reality is, would you prefer a world where they'd gone for one of the first round tight ends and had Hunter Henry, or the world they have now where they've got Hooper and Henry?
Where they have Hooper, Henry, and a second round tight end.
Second round tight end?
Maybe. It depends where they all start flying off the shelves, because the 1 year when we should have taken one, you can pull that. Because you don't agree with my opinion, why does my opinion have to be wrong?
No, but this is how I can express not agreeing with your opinion.
They need future. The one thing that we have learnt over these last few years is if you don't have depth, you don't have success. And so they need depth. They have struggled with tight end since Gronk left. It's only now with Hooper and Henry and obviously neither of them are Gronk, that they've had any real decent success at tight end. To not realise and build on that, again, would not be very smart.
But do you not think they need not even just depth? They need starters at other positions.
Yes, I never said they didn't.
But that should be a higher priority than depth at a position they've already got two guys at.
But let me put this to you. What difference does it make if I want them to take a tight end in the second round? I still recognise that they need more of this, more of that, although the defence looks a little bit, quite significantly more rounded now.
Agree.
What difference does it make? I don't change their decisions if I want a tight end in the second round. Now, I understand they need way more. They need tackle depth as well, but they need a left tackle. They potentially need a top wide receiver. I'm not sure if where they take a tight end in the draft is where they would get one of those top receivers. It's one of those. But just because I want them to take something doesn't mean I think that's the best option, nor will they do that. So why does my opinion of wanting a really good tight end matter like that?
No, for exactly what you've explained. You can explain your opinion and what Claire, if she was draft guru, would be choosing to do, even though
I don't even know if that's
you don't think it's what they will do, and even though you acknowledge it's maybe not the best thing, is just what Claire wants, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's getting to that point to express it.
No, but I've gotten to that point a long time ago. You just don't seem to listen to me.
Okay, so let's move on then. Is there anything else on offense they've either done or you'd like them to do in the next few days?
I'd like them to solidify the line better. It's if anybody's going to be available anymore, because I know the likes of who was it? What was his name? Ronnie Stanley was somebody that was top of their board, or top of people's boards for the left tackle, and he remained with the Ravens. So there's nothing you can do when a guy stays there. I get it. I'm not sure who's left out there that's worth it. So I don't really want to name names, and it's one of those. If there is a guy, I still want them to look at tackle. I'm not sure about wide receiver now, because I think the majority of them have gone or re-signed. Cooper Kupp, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't sneeze at throwing a seventh rounder and picking him up. I think the strength of character and experience would work well in a wide receiver room that is very in flux, I'd say, and has got a lot of youth in there that needs building back up, or needs some success or some stability, or whatever, in regards to the rookies from last year. So the wide receiver pool could do with that sort of stability, settling situation. So I wouldn't mind if they picked up Kupp. If they don't, it's I'm not really banging the table for him. It's one of those, I think it'd be a really good idea, and I would like it if they did manage to do something on left tackle with a decent guy who's experienced, because at this stage we haven't had for several years even a decent guy as a tackle. So it would be an improvement regardless, and I think once we've got some stability there, some experience and stuff, and so, some, to that extent, some quality, we've got a moving off point, really.
Yeah, we haven't even had someone who's got left tackle on the CV. It's been that crazy a situation, the reality of it. No, I agree. And they've still got to do something at receiver, and I'd love them to get Kupp. I think he's a very good receiver. I don't know if that's my fantasy head looking at that as well, but I would also acknowledge that is not a long-term solution for your one receiver. So I'm not pretending that brilliant, we've done that, we're all sorted, Super Bowl, here we come. But they have to improve that room. It would improve that room if they made that move in some way. The one other, which came in kind of overnight, I'd love the Patriots to go and get Kyle Juszczyk now. He's been released by the 49ers.
Oh, yeah.
Now McDaniels is in there. He loves a fullback. That's the best fullback in the game the past 10 years.
Oh,
go get
completely. Him. Yeah. If there's ever anybody that you replace Devlin with, and I'm not saying you can, but if there's ever a player to put in, it's him. he's been cracking for years. Now, you could argue, well, he's probably on a downward spiral because he's been cracking for years. You could also look at it, well, a lot of offenses don't run the fullback, which I think is a big mistake. But anyway. So, yeah, yes, I agree. It'd be fun to have him in the offense. He would definitely be fun to have him in the offense. I agree. I think we need to move on to the defense because we've argued 100% over the offense. Shall I quickly just list off all the names and then talk about them?
List them all.
Okay, so I'll list the names and then he can pick out who he wants to talk about because we are going to run out of time again, as usual. We'll be back eventually. Right. Defensive end / edge guy / linebacker, because it depends whose article you read as to what they call him. Harold Landry III. So yeah, he's on a 3-year deal. They got linebacker Robert Spallone from the Raiders. Cornerback Carlton Davis III. Is that right? I think that's right. Apologies if it's not. Defensive tackle Milton Williams. This sparked a massive explosion. This guy from the Eagles. And he is super explosive as well. I just like to make a point. So yeah, they got him and that was a big deal because Peter Schrager was commented on Twitter that he said that people were saying about nobody wants to come to England. And Williams had choices. I think he was almost set to go to Carolina, but we scooped him up. So yeah, not everybody doesn't want to come to New England. And defensive tackle. Ooh. And you just love it when you look at the name and think, I'm not sure how I'm going to fall over that one. I should have done a
Tonga.
Google. Yeah.
Is that who you're looking at?
Yeah. It's KHY. Huh. Yeah. That one's dumped me early in this one.
Kyrgyz Tonga. Kyrgyz Tonga.
Is that how? Okay. Apologies. Sorry, folks. Should have worked that out. But
they've improved. They've improved every level of the defense. They improved the line. They improved the linebackers. They've improved the secondary. I love what they've done on defense. Brilliant moves. Brought in some real thumpers. Some that are better at stopping the run game. Some that are better at pass protection and not pass protection, rushing the passer, and obviously cornerback on defense. I love what they've done. I love what they've done on defense. Loved it. The only thing that was slightly frustrating was as these names were rolling off yesterday, it was, we signed another defense guy, we signed another defense guy, and it was like, well, this is good, guys. We're improving our defense, but anything on offense seems crazy. But no, I love what they've done on defense.
Defense wins you championships. They've also, let me just quickly throw in, they've also tenured cornerback Alex Austin and linebacker Christian Ellis. So that's other bits of defense I just wanted to throw in. There's even more names in there, and I was quite glad about those two guys.
I think that probably shows you that Jonathan Jones won't be coming back. I think it's unlikely. I think the plan probably will be Austin.
I hadn't looked at
that. Austin, Davis, and Gonzo as probably your starting 3. We shall see, and then hopefully maybe even Hunter as well. If they get him with the 4th pick of the draft, that'd be brilliant. What a secondary you have there! Wow.
Yeah, we've got a secondary, but
no, I love what they do. Now the one, yes, they managed to persuade someone to come to New England in Milton Williams. Arguably the best defensive guy who was on the board. They did have to overpay to get him, but I don't mind that because you needed a guy. You needed a guy to hang your hat on, and that's who they've gone for. They've overpaid for him, but I don't mind. 26 a year, 26 a year, I think it is, for defensive tackle. A lot. It's an overpay, but they need a guy. They've built. I can't wait to see that defense. I'm sure Deuce is salivating at the defense they could put together now.
I tweeted out checking in on Deuce, and he did reply. So he was okay. I checked that he was still with us, and he was at the time. So yeah, with the intense defense.
Is there anything more you would like to see them do on defense in the next few days?
No, I think it feels like they need to turn their attention to the offense, I think.
And I feel like we spent 30 seconds on the defense, and I'm about to go back to the offense. But there was one element that we did not touch on that we probably should have, is that the Patriots also signed Josh Dobbs, which most likely
everybody went, oh, okay.
Well, that most likely indicates that Milton's about to get traded. In my mind, that's why you've done that.
I disagree.
You want a sandwich, right? First sandwich bet of the 2025 season. Milton's getting traded.
I didn't say I didn't think he would.
Okay.
I didn't think that was the indicator that he would be.
Okay.
Because it's a completely different scenario. They've brought in some experience, a veteran. It feels like they have to have that vet in the room, but he isn't one, as in Milton. Milton's the backup, not the vet. Do you see what I mean?
I know what you mean. I don't think that's why they've done this.
Fair enough.
So do you want a sandwich bet? Now, are we classing this? I was going to say, because technically tomorrow is the start of the year. We could either make this the last bet of the 24 season or the first bet of the 25. I think Milton's getting traded. And I was almost on refresh last night, searching Milton's name to see what's the deal going to be. He's going to go somewhere. Is it someone's going to give up a stupid pick, a third-round pick?
Yeah,
something that they shouldn't be.
That's why I don't feel comfortable betting, because there's that chance that somebody does overpay, as you like to say, for him, kind of thing. So I'm not confident that it won't happen.
Are they going to use him in some sort of trade for a receiver or something? See, or a tackle.
Who needs a quarterback, and who's got a good receiver or tackle?
I mean, there's quite a few teams who need quarterbacks, but the question is, what do they view Milton as? Because the reality is, it's unlikely he's a postseason starting quarterback, should we say, that level. But does a team like the Steelers want to bring him in with, I don't know, getting like Rodgers or something? But with the idea is, we know we're only going to have Rodgers for one season, and we want to develop Milton and make him our starter. Is someone bringing him in as a project to be their starter? Is someone want to bring him in to be their starter? Giants, for example, need a starting quarterback. Do they want to go that route and just say, hell to it, let's do it?
I have a ridiculous take on this.
Go for it. Unlike you.
The Steelers are going to be signing Aaron Rodgers. Now, let me just preface this, folks, that this is pure unadulterated speculation. I know nothing. I claim to know nothing. That's it. The Steelers are bringing in Aaron Rodgers and drafting a quarterback next year in the next draft, 2026 draft.
Maybe.
That's my take.
Do you want a sandwich on that one? No.
That's my crazy take.
No, they could do. I hope the Steelers do get Rodgers, because I do not like the Steelers. I do not like the Rodgers, and I think he'd hold them back. They've got DK. They've got a good offense.
If they took him and they were very successful.
Rodgers is going to be the man for them. So let's see how that goes. No, I do think it means that Milton's going to go, and we'll have to wait and see exactly what it means, I guess. I think there's going to be more business done today. I can't believe how much business they did yesterday. It was.
I know.
You couldn't stop following it.
Oh, should we do the show? They haven't done anything. Was it Monday? Was it Monday morning or Sunday evening? Monday. It was Monday, wasn't it? Yesterday was Monday. There was a off-show discussion, folks, of they haven't done anything yet. Should we do a show? Did Chudders want to dip into
Yes, Chudders wanted to be clear.
Very precious amount of time to do a show.
Chudders did want
and then they signed everybody.
They signed everybody. They've addressed loads of positions, but it just seems crazy. We're sat here, and they've still not addressed the two biggest positions in the team that they've needed for so long. They've still not got a plan for either position.
See, I argue that they don't have a plan, because if they'd have managed to get Godwin, which they really tried to do, then we'd just be looking at, let me finish, then they'd just be looking at left tackle. And that might be what they want in the draft. There might be that guy in the draft that they really, really want. So if they'd have been successful at that, they wouldn't have Hollins. And then we'd be looking at the draft saying, well, the major need is left tackle. And obviously we don't know, and they want whichever guy, because they might not want the guy that, we name, sort of thing. Then the landscape would be so different, but they weren't successful. And that was unfortunate. They might be still going into the draft knowing that they want that left tackle. Do you see my point? I know you don't disagree. You never disagree you never agree when I have any opinions that aren't yours. So that's fine. But I'm just saying, there's that chance there of that.
I think you could be right in what you're saying. If they'd got Godwin and then their plan is to address that part, I think you're right. The pushback I'll have is, as good a receiver as Godwin is, I don't think he's not the wide receiver one like DK was, for example. DK was solving a wide receiver one issue. Godwin's a very good receiver.
You really need to move on.
Yeah, but it's to explain. It's like I would have seen Godwin as more of a long-term and maybe more of a reliable, but on a similar level to Cup. You're bringing in a receiver who's improving your wide receiver room, but I don't see them as that's your long-term number one sorted. Is my point.
For me, that's two separate things. Improving the wide receiver room, I wouldn't have put him in the same level as Cup. But I don't think I'd say that. Yeah, he isn't necessarily. None of these guys are necessarily your long term, because a lot of them are getting up there in age. Thus, why they are available. You've got to look at that sort of prospect.
God, you never agree with anything I say, do you?
Don't be so princessy, Chudders. If they'd have got Godwin, I think we'd have at least be looking at 2 years of not to worry about the wide receiver, and we'd be looking at a draft in 2-3 years that is, hoping to get someone top. Maybe then. Maybe 1 to 2 years then.
Maybe. I'll tell you what, the last thing I'll say, and then we can wrap up. Yeah. I have a real fear if they don't make a move in the next couple of days for AJ Brown, for Cup, for one of these bigger names. Mm-hmm. So it's not just another Mac Hollins, for one of these bigger names, that we're going to get reports in the press of, the Patriots are really high on Jalen Polk. They've really seen development in the offseason, and they really think he's going to turn the page this year. Mm-hmm. I really fear that's what's going to get leaked in the sentiment of, they felt they didn't need to overpay because they think they've already got the guy in the room. On that bombshell, let's wrap.
Really? Did we really have to wrap up on something negative? Oh. But yeah, folks, that is it for the free agency frenzy. Pat's Procrastination episode 56. Make sure you're keeping your eyes peeled on the Pat's Propaganda website as well. And don't forget to be subscribing to the YouTube channel. So, with an intense defense, a stacked D room. Not so much offense, but we'll talk about that another time, shall we, folks? That is it from Chudders and myself, Claire Clazzy Clare. So tune in next time. And as always, go Pats.
LFG.